Allow me to introduce myself to the camera. I'm the poet with punch, with my fists and a stanza, hoping to hit you with a grin and a nice rhyme, so that you give me the trip of a lifetime. Hi guys, my name's Matt Windle.
What do you do for a living?
For a living, I've got two occupations. I'm a poet. I go into schools, prisons, libraries, foster homes, young offenders, and any other establishment that will have me, trying to inspire predominantly young people, but I work with adults as well, through the art form of poetry and lyrics and writing. And also, I'm currently an amateur boxer, and I will be a professional boxer making my debut at some time later on this year, so that will be my second occupation.
What have been your previous occupations?
I had no previous. Left school, went to college, studied plumbing at college, like all budding poets do. I wanted to get a backup, and then in 2009, once my plumbing had finished, I decided just to go for it, take the jump into self-employment, and become a poet, and thankfully, touch wood, we're still going today.
Do you have any qualifications or have you won any awards?
Obviously I've got C's and above, just in GCSEs. I've got my City and Guilds plumbing qualifications from the course that I was just speaking of. Through the poetry, I was Birmingham Young Poet Laureate in 2007, 2008. I believe I was the first male in England to be a Young Poet Laureate. I won a leadership award for the work that I do with young people around my community. I was successfully nominated and selected to carry the Olympic torch, and I've won Midland Championships in boxing, and got to the national quarterfinals and been given a national ranking in the top 8.
What is your marital status?
I'm single.
What are your hobbies and interests?
Hobbies and interests are my two jobs. Poetry and boxing both started off as hobbies and things that I liked writing and I liked training at the gym, and then fortunately I've managed to develop that further and put that into a career and make a career of it for myself, and just normal, young lad stuff. I like going out and eating food when I'm not on strict diet for fighting, going out to the cinema and just hanging out, spending time with my friends. When I'm training for a fight, it's very intense, very, very isolated, so I like being able to socialise and get out with my mates a little bit when I get the chance. Enjoy the hot weather.
Do you have any nicknames?
Matt Man is one of my nicknames that I use in boxing. As I come to the ring, we're going to get a load of like masks, superhero masks made, that me and my supporters and stuff can wear down to the ring. So Matt Man is one, and also one of my first ever performances, once I was crowned Young Poet Laureate, I was introduced as a poet and a boxer, and someone from the crowd shouted, "He's a poet with punch," and that name was kind of stuck as well. So the poet with punch is also one of my nicknames.
What are your phobias?
Phobias. I don't like the feeling of my tummy being tickled when you go over a speed hump too fast, or roller coasters, jumping out of aeroplanes, those kind of things. I'm not too fond on. It makes my stomach feel left behind, and there's something about cats and snakes that just creep me out as well. I don't know what it is, but they just creep me out a little bit.
What is your greatest achievement?
Greatest achievement, becoming Birmingham Young Poet Laureate was a good one, because that enabled me to do what I'm now doing for a living. So without that, I wouldn't be where I am in my current career. So that has to be one of my greatest achievements, especially, like I say, being one of the first males to win that competition. Also being selected to carry the Olympic torch, that was a massive moment. A 1 in 11 chance of winning it, and that was recognition for all the hard work that I do with young people in schools. So that I was really proud of that. And then from boxing point of view as well, as I mentioned, I've got a national ranking with the Boxing News magazine as top 8 in the country, and I got to the quarterfinals of the Elite Championships and the final of the Haringey Box Cup, which is the biggest boxing cup competition in Europe. So I suppose they're some of my greatest achievements.
How would your friends and family describe you?
I think quite honest, a bit blunt sometimes, a bit dry, comical, got a good sense of humour, I can have the banter, and just loyal, dedicated. You know, if they need something, I'm there for them, and just hopefully I'd like to think a good friend. But I like to think I tick most of the boxes of what a good friend should be.
Do you have any unusual or irritating habits?
I shadow box a lot, so punch in the air if you're not too sure what shadow boxing is. So I might be in a meeting with work and I sort of start doing this, or I'm walking around a supermarket with a pint of milk and then I realise where I am and I look and I've got some random person just staring at me as I'm there punching the air. So I suppose that could be it's definitely random, and I suppose it could be irritating. And as you saw from the beginning of the video, I like making up quick random rhymes with things as well. So I just see something, pick it and I rhyme. And I suppose if someone's not in a good mood, listen to me rhyming with everything isn't necessarily going to be the greatest thing. But yeah, rhyming and punching the air are some random habits that I'll just sort of come out with spur of the moment.
What is your role amongst your circle of friends?
Well, I'm lucky really. We're all pretty equal. There isn't we're tight knit. There's not like a leader and everyone follows. And lots of my friends are former fighters and they live the same lifestyle that I have to live. So they're not knocking on my door every weekend trying to say, come on, come out, have a drink, because they understand what I'm going through. So I'm just one of the lads, one of the boys. Our families are quite close as well, so it's not like we're just friends and we're isolated from everything else. Christmas and weddings and those kind of things, and with the kids we mix with each other and we make it quite a big family group. So I suppose I'm like a little brother or an uncle, depending on which side of the fence you are.
What is the furthest destination you have ever travelled to?
I travelled to Jakarta in Indonesia. So that was pretty far. I got a random email one morning, so that was to do some poetry workshops and performances. I got a random email one morning saying, we'd like you to come to our school. And at first I just thought it was a generic email that I get on a weekly basis. And then it said, in Jakarta, Indonesia. And I was just like, Mum, there's not any other Jakartas, is there? There's not any other Indonesias. It is like the one the other side of the world. So yeah, 16-hour flight, 22 hours in travelling in total. And then 5 hours rest before work the next morning. So that was my furthest and longest travel and destination that I've ever had to do.
What is your ambition in life?
My ambition in life is just to do something memorable. I don't want to be a normal 9-to-5 average Joe, and there's nothing wrong with anyone that is that or wants to be that. It's just not something I want to be. We're not on this planet for very long. We don't have too much time, and I want to do something with the time that I have. And that's not necessarily being rich and famous or anything like that. It's just being as successful as I can be, being able to look after the people that I need to look after, and leaving something behind. Like I say, I'm not going to be here forever to share stories and talk to people and socialise and whatever else. So I'd like to have things, whether it's footage of me in a real good tear or fighting, or if it's a poem or something that I do, but I just want to leave something behind that people can look back on, enjoy, watch, maybe study, and gain some inspiration from in the future. That's what I'd like.
In your own words, tell us why you should be selected for the trip of a lifetime.
I'm rubbish at these kind of questions really, because I don't feel like I should be selected any more than anyone else should be selected. I'm not any better or any worse than anyone else. I can mix well with others. I'm quite an individual, so walking into a room full of strangers and talking to people isn't something that necessarily daunts me, so I can speak to people. I'm relatively comfortable in front of the camera. It's not like I get a camera in front of my face and I freeze and I run out of things to say. I'm quite open-minded. I love trying new things. You know, with food, I'm not very fussy. I would try put a scorpion in front of me, I'll eat it. You know, but whatever, and I'll give it a good go. So yeah, it's not my decision as to why I should or shouldn't be selected. That's your job, and hopefully you can see something worth selecting.
Thanks, man.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.